this fight right here. Deontay Wilder now. Here, let me put it up on your screens for you guys. Deontay Wilder is now 43-4. Of course, he took those couple losses to Fury. Should have taken that L in that first one too. Shout out to that terrible judge. Sorry, Alejandro Rochin. Probably worst scorecard ever. Scoring at 115 for Deontay Wilder in that first fight against Fury. Crazy. But look, on paper, he has 4 losses. Those 2 against Fury. And now he has lost his last 2 fights. Joseph Parker didn't win a round. And now getting stopped brutally by a big bang. Deontay Wilder has now lost 4 out of his last 5 fights. He's basically fighting once a year. He's 38 years old. Doesn't look good for him, Chris. That switch of trainers doesn't seem to be a good fit. It looks worse. I mean, just when you thought he couldn't get worse, that power can't even save him now, Chris. I don't know what your thoughts were on this. I thought he was gonna at least scare Big Bang a little bit, but easy fight for Zile.
Yeah, like most people, everybody felt like he still had that, that one trick that he has, which is one of the best tricks in all of boxing, but it's no longer there, Gio. Like you said, Zhang Zong just took the Tyson Fury 2 blueprint and just took it to him. Didn't let Deontay, get close to landing that shot. Deontay, kind of landed it, but it doesn't have the same pop the way, the way they said that Oscar lost his pop against Oscar lost against his pop against Manny Pacquiao. It was a bit of the same thing, man. Deontay no longer has the power. We saw it up to the fight. We know that the story was the legs. The power comes from the legs, and it seems like it's over for Deontay. But yeah, it was all Zhang Zong, and that was a hellacious knockout by a man from China.
Look at Wilder, man, sleeping on the job. Wake up, buddy. Man, this guy turned around, got punched. He complained to the ref. Not sure why. I don't know if you guys remember, but he actually did that against Fury a couple times. And a couple of those knockdowns, he would get hit and look at the ref and complain. I don't know if that's just a habit. We know Usyk has a habit of complaining about low blows, even when the shots are clean. Deontay's habit is boom, you get rocked, you complain to the ref. This guy turned around, Big Bang followed him and put him out, man. Hey, look, one thing that you have to say about Wilder is he has a ton of heart and he has a pretty good chin. I mean, he actually got up, and walked toward the ref, but the ref saw something that he didn't like and saved him. Just like Wilder's old trainers saved him against Fury. You guys remember he was very, very mad at that, very furious, fired his coach, and now, as we said, the switch, not good for him. He got a couple more paydays. I think this should be it for him. He's not getting that AJ fight. AJ would have knocked him out even worse. He could have got like an Ngannou fight or something. But now I think, I don't think the public wants to see those fights anymore, man. I know I don't. I think Wilder gets stopped against any of the top 10 heavyweights at this point. Sad ending, but it's a guy who never really had the skill, had, out of this world type power that bailed him out 99% of the time. Seems like he's taking one too many beatings. 38 years old. It might be time to wrap it up, man.
Yeah, it almost felt, Gio, when people saw him get knocked out. Again, it was a huge knockout. Like you said, he was on unsteady legs. The ref, maybe saw his eyes gone and called it off. We didn't get the ref's vantage point, but yeah, he saw something that made him say that's enough. Normally, when it comes to these kinds of fights, Gio, we hear the fighters say, "Yeah, it's a wonderful career. It's over." Were you a little surprised that Deontay didn't say that?
Yeah, he had been talking about retirement already before the fight. Usually that's the sign. I personally think, let me show you guys the poll. The poll asked whether Wilder should retire. Do you think he'll retire after getting stopped by Zile? First option was yes, he needs to, 85%, and then 15% no, he'll give it another go. I think he might give it another go, Chris. He's that stubborn. Let's not forget he kept getting beat up by Tyson Fury, and he wanted more and more, and he even wanted a fourth fight. So uh, he's proven to be very, very, very stubborn. I think he might get another payday or two, but yeah, if I were him, I would just retire and live happily ever after, enjoy all the money that he made in boxing. I personally wouldn't want to see him again. And this was a bad beating against a 41-year-old Chris who didn't necessarily look impressive in his last fight, Big Bang, against Joseph Parker. But now his name is back in the mix, man. They're talking Anthony Joshua. Even that Dubois fight, I think, is that matchup is interesting. You know, Big Bang, I think, bought himself another big payday.
Yeah, I agree. I think you picked the perfect word, stubborn. Deontay Wilder in those defeats, which was three, if you want to be real, those three defeats to Tyson Fury, he always had excuses. He, always said, something happened. There was always a reason why, he didn't, win those fights. He did have that big win against Alanius, which gave him some oxygen, to get these latter fights, Gio. But he hasn't been impressive since. Like you said, he has a big name. Like you said, Turkey's in the mix. Lots of money, lots of millions out in Saudi Arabia. A guy like Deontay Wilder, he's not gonna want to walk away from, from those that bag. But yeah, there's nothing left, in my opinion. Nothing that even gets people excited. If he would have knocked down Zhang once and then he gets knocked out, you're like, okay, there's still something there. But there was virtually nothing, from Deontay Wilder. So I agree. I think he's going to be a stubborn guy. He's going to want to get another fight against a guy like Big Baby. But I think his time is up.
Any flush punch that lands on him, he seems to get hurt. I mean, this was a brutal stoppage, Chris. I think this is going to be up there for me as a candidate for knockout of the year. Obviously, like I said, he was able to get up somehow. Not sure how, man. Respect to his chin and his heart, but that was brutal. I mean, the way he fell,
Yeah.
the way he just looked so shocked after that first punch. He looked at the ref for some reason, turned around. Big Bang came after him and gave him another big bang, and once again, Wilder looked shocked while he was on the canvas, and you know, definitely the right stoppage by the referee, but you know, Wilder does not look good, man. He does not look good. His legs seem to be getting skinnier and skinnier. His chin is just not holding up. There's nothing coming from his corner. No type of strategy, no type of advice. It's kind of a sad ending to his career, man.
If Deontay were to retire today, Gio, what would you remember of his career, his legacy of Deontay Wilder?
Obviously, the knockouts. You know, I'm not a big fan of Wilder. I cringe every time he speaks. I just don't see much skill there. But hey, as most of the analysts were saying, he overachieved. You know, like we said, we showed the record there. I think only one of his wins was by decision, and all the other ones were KOs. There you have it. 43 wins, 42 knockouts. I mean, impressive. The biggest puncher of our era. That's what you got to remember him for. But you know, my personal biggest memories of Wilder are the funny excuses, man. The funny is they spiked my water. My suit was too heavy. This guy had stuff in his gloves. I mean, I think that's my biggest memory. But like I said, I'm not the biggest Wilder fan, so I'm probably not the best person to ask.
Yeah, for me, I was also not the biggest fan of Deontay, but I want to say I respected what he did in the sport. He was the guy that got he was the guy that got Tyson Fury out of retirement when Fury was 300 plus pounds and spiraling down a dark path. He was that guy, and I do remember the knockouts. He's the guy that kept knocking guys out. Sure, he was the guy that once he hit the elite level, he came up short. And like you said, Gio, those excuses, they didn't do him any favors. So that's unfortunate for a guy like Deontay Wilder, who, in my opinion, kind of sparked the heavyweight division along with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. But yeah, man, I hope he's able to hang him up, or if he does get one fight, take a break 3-4 years and have one more go and go out with the knockout against lesser opposition. But I would hate to remember him in these last years, getting knocked out, making excuses, and not being the guy that was doing all the knockouts early on in his career.
Yeah, man, go give Helenius a rematch. Go get another knockout, But let's go to some comments here real quick. Big Bro says if he don't retire, he's asking to be stretchered off the ring. Adi says I'd like to see Deontay Wilder in a ballet dance-off against Richard Torres Jr. He said he did that pirouette. Again, saying Big Bro saying he was just trying that Ukrainian ballet dance that Loman Usyk do. Yeah, there was a lot of jokes that came with that knockout. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, Chris. Get punched and then he literally just spun around and was lost. That was pretty brutal. Big Bro says he will be remembered for turning down $100 million DAZN offer to fight AJ. Yeah, that was. I mean, Chris, there's always with these big fights a lot of back and forths of, oh, this guy didn't want to fight that guy, this guy didn't want to sign. In some cases, there's scenarios like this where things just don't make sense. $100 million to fight Anthony Joshua. I'm sure Al Heyman would have been like, go do it, man, get paid. I'm just still scratching my head why he didn't take that. This was AJ and Wilder probably at their best. They could have got those fights on. I'm sure they would have made even more money, with sponsorships maybe. I think that was a 2-fight deal, if I remember correctly. They could have made a third fight, if anything. He got 3 fights versus Fury, so yeah, that's wild. Didn't Broner turn down a 40, right? With Rock Nation
40,
or something. He turned that down, and Broner is out here struggling, not fighting on Don King cards. We'll get into that next, Chris. But last thoughts on Deontay Wilder, 4th loss of his career. I think most people think he should retire. Will he? We'll see. But I mean, brutal by Big Bang, and I'm sure he's gonna get a big fight.
Yeah, my final thoughts is it's time to hang him up, champ. There was a time where he had guys like Stavern, folded like a chair against the ropes, and now he's that guy. And it's time to hang up. Like you said, Gio, he made more than enough money. I don't think he has to dwell on the money that he lost. Just think about the money that you did make and enjoy it. We do know he has a lot of kids, a big family. Hey, it's time to think about that, man. Plenty of money made. Don't look back. Retire.
Yeah, and let me just highlight Big Bang because he only made his debut 10 years ago, 2014. You see it there, August. He was 31, Chris. I guess Hergovich, but he got 2 Joe Joyce fights. Won those. He got the Joseph Parker fight, lost a majority decision, and now Deontay Wilder. Now he's gonna get one of the top dogs, I'm sure. So, I mean, what a story. 41 years old, Big Bang. Obviously he has that Chinese fan base. I remember Bob Arum was really pushing for Big Bang to become that next star. But hey, he's gonna get his last. I'm sure his last big payday at 41, 42. I don't know how much longer he's going to keep fighting for, but looked pretty good in this fight, I would say.